When Shannon Sharpe speaks on First Take, people listen, especially when it comes to championship windows and legacy-defining moments. This time, his message was directed straight at the Dallas Cowboys, and it wasn't sugar-coated. Shannon Sharpe made it very clear that the Cowboys are running out of time, and if they truly believe they are a Super Bowl contender, then standing pat is no longer an option. According to him, the Cowboys need to make a bold move right now, and that move is trading for Maxx Crosby. Not next season, not after another playoff run that ends in disappointment, but immediately. His argument wasn't about hype or social media buzz. It was about urgency, timing, and the harsh reality of how fast championship windows close in the NFL. For years now, the Cowboys have been one of the most talented teams in the league on paper. Every preseason, analysts pencil them in as contenders. Every regular season, they win games, put up numbers, and dominate weaker opponents. And yet, every January, the story ends the same way. A bad loss, a missed opportunity, another offseason filled with questions. Shannon Sharpe pointed out that at some point, excuses run out. You can only say next year for so long before next year never comes. Online, the Cowboys are not rebuilding, they are not developing, they are supposed to be winning right now, and that's exactly why he believes a move for Maxx Crosby makes so much sense. Maxx Crosby represents something the Cowboys have been missing when it matters most. He represents chaos. He represents pressure that doesn't stop. He represents a defender who can take over a game without needing help from scheme or coverage. Crosby is the type of player who forces offenses to change everything they want to do. He doesn't just get sacks, he collapses pockets, ruins timing, and forces quarterbacks into mistakes. Shannon Sharpe emphasized that in the playoffs, games are rarely decided by flashy offense alone. They are decided by who controls the line of scrimmage and who can affect the quarterback when the pressure is highest. When you look at the Cowboys' current roster, it's obvious they are built to win now. Dak Prescott is no longer a young quarterback finding his way. He's a veteran who knows the expectations and understands the pressure. CeeDee Lamb is in his prime, one of the most dominant receivers in football. Micah Parsons is already a superstar and one of the most feared defenders in the league. But the problem is that football is not won by one superstar alone. Even Micah Parsons, as great as he is, can be neutralized when offenses commit all their resources to him. Shannon Sharpe's point was that pairing Parsons with someone like Maxx Crosby would be unfair to opposing offenses and transformative for Dallas's defense. Imagine the stress that would put on an offensive line. You can't double both players on every snap. You can't slide protection to both sides. You can't chip both edges without sacrificing routes or protection elsewhere. That kind of pressure forces quarterbacks to make quick decisions, often bad ones. It forces offenses into predictable play calling. It creates turnovers, short fields, and momentum swings. These are the things that win playoff games, not just talent, but disruption. Shannon Sharpe also talked about how dangerous it is to assume that championship windows will stay open just because a team is talented. The NFL doesn't work that way. Injuries happen, contracts expire, salary cap issues pile up. Before you know it, the roster that looked unstoppable starts to thin out. Dallas is already approaching that moment. Big contracts are coming, tough decisions are looming. Depth becomes harder to maintain. This is the phase where teams either push all their chips in or slowly fade out of contention. One of the biggest criticisms Shannon Sharpe had was that the Cowboys have been too comfortable winning 11 or 12 games, comfortable making the playoffs, comfortable being talked about. But comfort is the enemy of championships. Teams that win Super Bowls are usually uncomfortable. They take risks. They make aggressive trades. They sacrifice future assets for present success. Shannon Sharpe made it clear that draft picks are valuable, but they are also uncertain. Like a first round pick might turn into a star or it might turn into nothing. Maxx Crosby is already proven, he is already elite, and he is already in his prime. The argument against trading for someone like Crosby is always the same. It's too expensive. It costs too much draft capital. It limits flexibility. But Shannon Sharpe pushed back hard on that mindset. He reminded everyone that the goal of draft picks is to eventually draft players who can help you win a championship. If you already have the opportunity to acquire a player who does exactly that, then why hesitate? The Cowboys have spent years drafting, developing, and building. At some point, the building phase has to end and the winning phase has to begin. Another key part of Shannon Sharpe's warning was about Micah Parsons himself. Parsons is generational, but he cannot do everything alone. Expecting him to carry the defense year after year without elite help is unrealistic and unfair. Great defenders need great partners. History shows that the most dominant defenses often feature multiple elite pass rushers working together. When that happens, offenses break. That's what Shannon Sharpe sees as the potential with Crosby and Parsons together. Like, it wouldn't just be a good defense. It would be a defense that teams fear. The mental aspect of this move is just as important as the physical one. Trading for Maxx Crosby would send a message to the entire locker room that the front office believes in this team. It tells the players that management is willing to do whatever it takes to win now. Like, that kind of belief can elevate a team. Players play harder, leaders speak louder, confidence grows. On the flip side, doing nothing sends a different message. It suggests hesitation, it suggests doubt, and in a league where belief and momentum matter, that can be damaging. Shannon Sharpe also touched on the idea of regret. Regret is something that haunts franchises for decades. The regret of not making a move when the opportunity was there. The regret of wasting a generational player's prime. The regret of being remembered as a team that had all the pieces but never put them together at the right time. The Cowboys, more than almost any other franchise, know what that feels like. Their history is filled with what-if moments. Shannon Sharpe believes this could be another one if they don't act. There's also the reality that elite players like Maxx Crosby don't become available very often. When they do, it's usually because of unique circumstances. Waiting for another opportunity could mean waiting years. By then, the roster could look completely different. Dak Prescott's prime might be gone. Micah Parsons could be approaching a contract crossroads. The balance of the team could shift. That's why timing is everything. And right now, the timing aligns perfectly for Dallas to make a move like this. From a football standpoint, Crosby's relentless motor would fit perfectly with the Cowboys' defensive identity. He plays every snap like it matters. He chases plays down from the backside. He sets the edge in the run game. He doesn't disappear when teams try to neutralize him. That kind of effort is contagious. It raises the standard for everyone around him. Shannon Sharpe made it clear that this isn't just about stats. It's about attitude, tone, and physicality, especially in the postseason. The Cowboys' recent playoff losses have exposed a recurring issue. When things get tough, when opponents adjust, Dallas struggles to respond. Pressure doesn't arrive fast enough. Quarterbacks get comfortable. Momentum swings away. Maxx Crosby changes that dynamic. He doesn't allow quarterbacks to get comfortable. He doesn't allow offenses to settle in. He forces chaos, and chaos favors great defenses. Shannon Sharpe's warning ultimately comes down to one simple idea. You either chase greatness or you accept being good. Being good is safe. Being good sells tickets. Being good keeps you relevant. But being great requires risk. It requires sacrifice. It requires bold decisions that might be criticized in the moment but celebrated later. Shannon Sharpe believes the Cowboys are at that exact crossroads right now. The Cowboys have everything they need except one thing, a defense that can dominate when it matters most. Maxx Crosby could be that missing piece. He could be the difference between another early playoff exit and a legitimate Super Bowl run. Shannon Sharpe isn't guaranteeing a championship. No one can. But he is saying that without a move like this, the Cowboys are gambling with time, and time is the one thing they don't have on their side anymore. In the end, this isn't just about Maxx Crosby, it's about philosophy. It's about whether the Cowboys want to be aggressive or conservative. It's about whether they want to protect the future or seize the present. Shannon Sharpe has made his stance clear. The window is closing. The opportunity is now. And if Dallas hesitates, they may spend the next decade wondering what could have been. That's why this warning matters. That's why this conversation is bigger than one trade rumor. It's about legacy, pressure, and the fine line between being remembered and being forgotten. The Cowboys are on the clock, and according to Shannon Sharpe, Maxx Crosby might be the last chance to beat the buzzer.